Vancouver Childcare by Maple Rim Journey, 7 June 2020. People always wish the best for their children, but Westerners or Easterners have different views of how to educate children. At the UBC playground, I saw almost Chinese grandparents who lived on the campus with their family being right next to and taking every step of the children, whereas the Western parents let the kids free to roam under the sky. Each child in Vancouver has a bike. During strolling in Pacific Spirit Park Forest, I only saw the Western children being accompanied by their parents driving competently in the tracks. I suppose the right places for Asian children driving should be in the playgrounds because of the safety concern. In Vietnam, we tried our best to send our kids to an international school in which the tuition fees were very prohibitively expensive, despite we were only in the middle income. We were happy with the social amenities, including the large playing room in a low-rise solid concrete building, a giant in-home television, and some toys being well organized on a shelf at the glass corner. We almost did nothing because the school could offer everything, including the two-way transportation if we wanted. However, I still arranged my hectic schedule to pick up my angels. I did remember their radiant smiles running toward me and jumping up to my neck despite were disturbing them from cartoon screen by a couple of cones. The nannies also took up her eyes from the phones and said something in English with my children. Most of the nannies here were super young, gorgeous, and sweet. The English pronunciation were quite good for the reason of the school properly having the strictly hiring process and offering the rewarding salaries for them, I guess. That was a really good school, and if I have a second chance, I will choose it for my children again. In Canada, the story is completely different. Firstly, there is no impressive concrete building. My daughter is sent to a group childcare shelter, making up some containers, while the son is delivered to family childcare at a simple WOODHOUSE. Secondly, no television is put at the locations. My daughter must spend 1.5 hours wandering around forest every day, no matter what the weather is. Thus, we spent a significant amount of money to buy her some required belongings, such as sunscreen, bird repellent, raincoat, muddy boot, sleeping bag. What is more, the children are normally rounding in the toys being snug on the shelves around the worms. Children normally clean up after the playing, but it takes the nannies an hour to have 5 arrangements at the end of the class. I appreciate my wife for the household works she had managed in the morning. Besides the breakfast need to be done as usual in Vietnam, she had to prepare the lunches for children as well. The food should be picky because the school won't provide meals for children and the nannies normally don't feed them. The children should do everything by themselves, otherwise they will be hungry. Both school principals told us that we need to come picking up our children in case they were crying over 20 minutes. But thank goodness, they didn't corner because probably my children used to be in childcare before and were familiar with the parents' absence. One of my friends in Toronto told us that if your children poo at the class, the parent will be called to clean. Hence, be ready at a certain level before sending your children to childcare in Vancouver. I also give a hand to my wife manage my children. I go back and forth the supermarkets to buy cardboard boxes, colorful papers for my children. A studying day normally goes with a theme or an activity. For the activity days, children together with nannies do projects, such as building a house, a boat, a train, or a castle. It would be wiser if you could keep cardboard boxes in your houses rather than throw them as those projects need boxes. Otherwise, you must buy the new ones at the shop. They also often to make flowers, baking cake, riding bikes, Olympic running on activity days. Each theme such as Korean, England, African, Vietnamese Day requires colorful papers to make the flags and the traditional hats of that country. It is challenging for us to handle our children in Vancouver, but we wish if they fall off from the parents' beam someday, our children could stand up and continue trying to finish the beam without crying and looking for a hurt at currently. Sharing is caring. Vincent, Vancouver, 2019.